I was looking at these bundles of dead flowers today. Flowers that were once vibrant, once reaching towards the sun, that were admired, that were gifted, that were photographed, that were held close, and now they're just dry. Their petals have curled, and the fragrance on almost all of them have almost disappeared. And I found myself thinking, all beautiful things must die. I know that sounds morbid, but think about it. This life was not meant to preserve beauty forever and ever and ever. We get to witness it. In many ways, this life was meant to reveal the beauty within it and long for something more eternal that lasts forever. Dead flowers are not the end of beauty. They are really only the end of one expression of it. We tend to think that beauty ends when something is no longer useful or productive or alive in the way that we recognize. But the garden, it really does disagree. And that's something that I'm learning every day. The garden reminds me that death is not an interruption. It's actually an invitation. A flower does not spend its entire life trying to stay in bloom. It blooms, and then what happens? It withers, and then it releases, and somehow it's in some kind of surrender, and it becomes even more generous. The petals return to the earth itself. The stems can become a kind of structure, and the seeds, if they fall in just the right place at the right time, they can promise for another bloom for next season. Nothing is wasted. There is a slow undoing, and it's not chaotic. It's a kind of sacred rearrangement. Everything becomes something else, and I wonder how often we mistake transformation for loss simply because we preferred the earlier version. Maybe, just maybe, some of the most beautiful parts of us were never meant to remain in bloom forever. What if parts of us are becoming composted? What if God is simply not just growing us? What if He is composting our pride, our illusions, our need to be admired, our identities that have outlived their purpose, in order to make room for something that can only grow in a surrendered soil? I have come to love dried flowers. I hang on to it for a little bit because it reminds me that beauty does not disappear. It may change in its assignment, and it may move from being just admired to something nourishing like compost. It can move from being seen to becoming something else. To live in awe is to recognize that even what appears spent is still full of purpose. What may look like an ending may simply be God working somewhere deeper than our eyes can see. It's renewal. If beauty can return in another form, like from the compost that is going to come from these dead flowers, we too can celebrate our own process of unfolding and becoming.